Hello, my name's Mr. Hunter and we have produced this video to provide you with all of the information that you need to make a good start for Year 11. This video is intended for Year 11 parents and for Year 11 students. Let's get started. Here are some key dates coming up over the course of the next year which you may want to make a note of. Some of them are absolutely firm and some of them, which I will indicate, are still to be confirmed. On the 22nd of September there is the Further Education Parents Information Evening. This is an opportunity for you to meet with many sixth form colleges to hear what their offers are and to start having a think about where you might apply. On the 31st of October, so the Monday after half term, practice examinations start, and these will continue over the course of that entire week and into the following week. On the 1st of December is Year 11 Parents Evening, which will run from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. online. Earlier that day, we will have presented Year 11s with their mock results, and up until that point, they will not have had access to them. On the 9th of December, students submit post-16 applications for checking. You'll note that I've put this date as provisional because we're still awaiting confirmation from Cambridge Area Partnership, which is the organisation that oversees applications to sixth form, of confirmation of this date. On the 20th of February, which is again the Monday after half term, we'll be holding a second round of mocks. And once again, I've indicated that this is provisional as we are awaiting final confirmation just from all departments as to what forms of mocks they would like to run. You will of course be kept fully informed as this is confirmed. From the 15th of May to the 23rd of June, GCSE written exams will run. Again, I've put to be confirmed here, this is a provisional timetable produced by Ofqual. Normally they will stick to this, it would be very unusual for them to change it, but there is still the possibility. Of course, as with the above ones, you will be kept posted if there are any changes. From the 26th of May will be study leave for all Year 11s, so this is the first day of the half term. Up until this point, Year 11s will still expected to be in school and revising and attending their lessons in between going to exams. On the 30th of June will be Leavers Day, and on the 7th of July will be prom. Throughout Year 11 there are a number of people who you may need to contact, and here I provided some details of them. English, Maths and Science is fairly self-explanatory. Those are the contact details for the heads of department. If you have a question specifically relating to the exams or the exam process, our exams officer is Mr. Wilson, and I provided his email address there, and he'll be happy to help you with that. Overseeing the CAP application process, CAP is Cambridge Area Partnership, it means the application to sixth form, is Mr. Carlson. And overseeing SEND and access arrangements is Dr. Glennon, and you can see her contact details there. And of course, if you have any general Year 11 questions or queries, or you just want directing towards the right person, I'm here and I'm very happy to provide you with that support. In the next couple of weeks, you will all be receiving an assessment calendar. An assessment calendar is a useful document. It provides things like template revision timetables and revision advice, but also provides a comprehensive list of what you need to know for each subject, as well as a detailed breakdown of what's going to be assessed and when it will be assessed, so in-class assessments and things like that. This is written assuming that the exams will start as Ofqual have indicated, although as I say, we have very little reason to suppose that they wouldn't. Let's have a look now at the three core subjects, the subjects that everybody will sit, and have a little look at what they will be assessing and what they'll be teaching over the course of the coming year. So English has two components to it. First one is a paper that's 1 hour and 45 minutes long and consists of two sections, unseen prose fiction and creative writing. The second section consists of two unseen non-fiction texts, it's 19th and 21st century, and then transactional or persuasive writing tasks, so where you have to pretend that you're writing a letter, a speech or a magazine article. Separately to this and in classes, you'll be doing the speaking and listening task, which is a separate grade. It does not contribute towards the overall GCSE mark, and you get it recorded as either a pass, merit or distinction based on how you do in lessons. The literature qualification, so a separate GCSE to the language qualification that we've just talked about, consists of 2 exams, a 2-hour exam looking at Shakespeare and the poetry anthology, and a 2-hour and 30-minute exam looking at post-1914 prose or drama, 19th century prose or unseen poetry. Some key things the English department would like me to convey to you. Key spellings up around the house is very, very useful. This helps to use the keywords that English will highlight and make sure that they are used correctly and spelt correctly, because clearly spelling, punctuation and grammar are a key part of the English qualification. Sentences with homophones in them, words that sound the same but are written and have different meanings, are also very important. So words like to and to, use of those often catch students out. Unseen reading is a bit that people find particularly difficult if they don't regularly read novels, websites or a weekly newspaper. Key questions that parents can ask about these are things like list 5 facts about them. What techniques does the writer use to persuade us of that? What impression does the writer create? And what do you think and feel about when you read this article? These are ways that parents can get involved in helping students to revise for the upcoming exam. Set text students will be using and studying are the poetry anthology, Romeo and Juliet, and then, depending upon the class, An Inspector Calls, Lord of the Flies, or The Woman in Black. Critically, it is important that students read and reread these set texts so they are familiar with them. They've got to learn key quotations from each of them, and they need to revise the characters, the themes and ideas. There is a common misconception that English cannot be revised for, or that English is more difficult to revise than perhaps science and maths. And the English department would like me to convey very firmly that this is not the case, and that by doing things like rereading the text and learning key quotations, you can revise very effectively for English. Let's move on to maths now. Maths will consist of 3 papers, a non-calculator, a calculator, and then another calculator. Depending upon the tier, there is slightly different emphasis put on different skills. So for example, there is more algebra in higher tier, and there is less number, so basic number calculations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Revision for maths, they're on WisePay at the moment, or in the next day or two there will be maths revision guides which are available for £6.50. Please do try as many practice questions as you possibly can from these, and the maths department particularly recommends these maths websites, MathsWatch, On Maths, and of course Sparks, which all students now have access to, which they can practice and practice and practice. The key point for students when they're revising, particularly when they're revising maths, is that different forms of revision are enormously more effective than others. Just listening to a video or watching somebody else do it will cause very, very little retention. However, teaching others and practicing doing yourself will cause 75 to 90% retention. So students should really focus on the forms of revision that will work rather than the forms of revision that won't. Just note-taking or watching videos relatively low, whereas practicing doing very, very high. In particular, the Maths department would like me to emphasise that you should not just practice until you get it right once, but you would practice until you are unable to get it wrong, as in the cartoon here. Moving on to science. The science qualifications are split into 2 different types. Students may either be studying combined science, which they will probably know as double science. This is worth 2 GCSEs. This is studied through 6 papers, 2 biology, 2 chemistry and 2 physics, each of which is 1 hour and 15 minutes long, and each of which will be out of 70 marks. Students may either be studying higher tier, which means grades 4 to 9, or foundation tier, which means grades 1 to 5. Students can only be entered for all the higher or all of the foundation, so you won't get students who are studying higher for biology and foundation for chemistry. They've got to do all one or the other. Students in higher sets, students who find science a bit easier, may be doing triple science route. This is 3 GCSEs worth rather than 2, and each paper is worth 100 marks. Again, it's 6 papers, 2 in biology, 2 in chemistry, 2 in physics. Each paper is a bit longer, an hour and 45 minutes, and each paper is worth 100 marks. Again, you see students who, students may be entered for higher or foundation, but because this is 3 separate GCSEs, students can be entered for higher biology, for example, and foundation physics, unlike in combined science. Revision resources that the Science Department recommends are the revision books, which again are available through WisePay. This is for both double and triple, and come in a variety of formats. So you have both the revision book itself, but you also have a workbook, which is a white version, which goes along with the revision book. Science Department also recommends Seneca, which is a free automatic website that allows you to answer a range of questions and be immediately told whether you got them right or wrong, and a couple of YouTube channels, so Primrose Kitten and Free Science Lessons are extremely good for GCSE science revision. If this presentation has prompted any questions, please do contact me, thunter@netherhallschool.org, and I wish you the very best of luck for the coming year.